Benvenuti a Coffee Break Italian.
Welcome to the Coffee Break Italian show. Io sono Maurizio.
E io sono Francesca.
In these weekly episodes, we help you improve your Italian one cup at a time.
So don't forget to subscribe to our podcast feed wherever in the world you're listening from. Or if you're watching us, subscribe to our channel on YouTube.
Perfect. Allora, qual è l'argomento di oggi, Francesca?
Mi piace molto l'argomento di oggi.
Okay.
Today we are going to talk about plural nouns,
Okay.
but irregular plural nouns.
I see. Well, this is going to be interesting.
Molto
I guess we're going to
interessante.
see many irregularities.
Sì, quindi
All right.
dai.
Cominciamo?
Sì, cominciamo.
Cominciamo. All right, I think before getting to the irregularities, let's quickly review the regular patterns to go from singular to plural in Italian.
Okay, that's a good idea, Maurizio. I think it's very useful just to remind ourselves how we pluralize regular nouns in Italian. So, starting from masculine singular nouns ending in O, the usual plural ending is
I,
okay.
or I in English. So, for example,
Sì, ad esempio italiano, il plurale,
due italiani,
o ragazzo.
due ragazzi.
So one Italian, two Italians, one boy, two boys.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And instead, for feminine nouns, the regular pattern is to go from a feminine noun ending in a to a feminine noun, plural, that ends in e. So, for example, if I say la matita, you would say...
Le matite.
Yeah, so the pencil, the pencils. Or, for example, una ragazza...
Due ragazze.
Perfect. So, one girl, two girls.
Perfetto. We should also remember that some singular nouns, either masculine or feminine, it doesn't matter, could also end in e or the English e. So what do we do in that case? How do we pluralize them?
In that case, we are going to replace the e for an e. So from an e to an I, if we use the English vowels. What does that mean? So for example, if we have lo studente, okay, the plural is going to be gli studenti, okay? So studente, student, studenti, students.
Or if we take a feminine noun like indicazione, one of those nouns ending in zione, so we immediately recognize the gender, the feminine gender. So one indication, indicazione, plurale.
Due indicazioni.
Perfetto,
Yeah, so
molto
two
bene.
indications there.
So this is the general pattern, but you probably already know that Italian has a lot of exceptions when it comes to pluralizing nouns. Obviously, there are a lot of them, so we cannot cover them all in the space of this video.
Yep.
So first thing is always checking your dictionary. Whenever you're not too sure about how to pluralize a noun, make sure you check against the dictionary so that you spot any irregularities. But we'll see some of them today together.
Exactly. So we're going to start by looking at words changing spelling or not following the rules that we just mentioned before with the regular patterns. So, for example, one of the most common words that you might encounter also when you start learning Italian is the word uomo, right? So, uomo means man, okay? When we want to say men in the plural, we are going to say uomini.
So we literally add a syllable there.
Yeah. So we go from uomo, man, to uomini, men.
Interessante.
Yeah.
So this is already quite an interesting irregular plural.
Very irregular. We add a
sì.
syllable to the singular noun.
Okay.
Or
we have other examples prepared for you. For example, the word Dio.
Yeah, so a god. So if we want to say gods in the
Sì.
plural, we're going to change things up. We're going to say dei.
Dei. So it's slightly different.
Yeah. So again, we go from Dio, God, to dei, gods.
Sì, ad esempio gli dei dell'Olimpo.
Yeah. The gods of Olympus, for example, from Greek mythology.
Molto bene.
Or something else I was also thinking about wing and wings in Italian.
Ah, interessante, buona
So
idea.
we say ala for one wing, ala, and then we pluralize it by saying ali.
So using a masculine plural
Yeah.
ending,
Yep.
but the word is still feminine.
So we say un'ala and due ali.
Instead of ale, which is what we would expect,
Exactly.
but that's not the case.
Yeah.
So
And of course, you can use ala, ali also to talk about, for example, chicken wings, if you like chicken wings, for example.
Not on your pizza.
Not on your pizza, remember. All right. So another group of irregularities is words changing gender. And usually we see this pattern of basically a singular masculine noun changing into a plural feminine noun.
Yes, although we don't always see that feminine plural ending.
Right.
So that's a little bit confusing, and I think an example would clarify things.
Yep. So one example is, for example, the word for egg, uovo. So uovo means egg, and it's a masculine singular noun. L'uovo, un uovo. But if we want to say eggs, what are we saying here?
This is the interesting thing, because it becomes feminine in the plural, but with an ending for the feminine singular. So basically, eggs is uova.
Yeah. So we go from uovo, un uovo, to uova, due uova.
Or le uova, if it helps. You can see the definite article le, feminine plural, but the noun is uova. So le uova, it could look a little bit unusual
confusing
at
as
first.
well. Yeah.
Sì.
Or, for example, we can also see when we talk about shoes, we talk about a pair of shoes. So a pair in Italian is il paio. Okay? Il paio. But if we want to talk about two pairs of shoes, we're going to say due paia. So we go from il paio to le paia.
Molto interessante.
Yeah. And again, singular masculine noun into a feminine plural noun.
Molto bene, Maurizio.
Yep.
I think we should continue with this topic, but add a twist, let's say.
All right.
Because in Italian there are more words which follow this structure, but they, let's say, offer one additional option which you probably are not expecting.
Yes, so we're talking still about singular masculine nouns that have actually two possible plurals. One of these plurals is what you would expect. So it's the masculine plural form ending in E or I, whereas we also will see the feminine plural version of these ending with an A, for example.
Esatto,
Okay?
sì.
So we'll see that these plural versions, these plural alternatives are not alternatives in the sense that they are interchangeable, but they actually mean different things. We'll give you some examples.
Yeah, I think an example here
to make this point
would
across.
clarify things. Probably the most common one, the one that we always use when we are teaching, is braccio.
So, arm.
So you all know that braccio is a masculine singular noun, il braccio, un braccio. But what happens when it comes to pluralizing the noun braccio? So when you want to say arms in the plural form, we have two options there.
Yep. So we have, if we're talking about the arms of a person, we go from un braccio to due braccia. So to arms.
So following the rule which we have just described with
Yep.
uovo, for example, so using the ending a,
Yep.
but for a plural noun, changing from masculine to feminine.
But we also have the word bracci in Italian, I bracci. And bracci is used in other contexts,
Yes,
Francesca.
it's a more technical nuance to the noun. So we cannot use it to talk about human arms,
Yep.
but more from a metaphorical or technical point of view. For example, if we think of a crane,
Yep.
una gru,
we
talk about I bracci della gru.
Yeah, which I think are called booms. I think,
sì, it's a new word for us.
Yeah.
We did a little bit of research.
Or, for example, we could also say that the things
I bracci del microfono.
Yeah, I bracci del microfono, as you see on screen, if you're watching the video version of this. So bracci are this sort of objects that can stretch in a sense. So we can regulate the mics. These are the bracci, two of them, dei microfoni, for example.
Ok, Maurizio, continuiamo con le parti del corpo, because it's actually something, this rule is something that you can find often with parts of the body, as it is the case with the word dito.
Dito, so dito is finger, and the plural for fingers of your hands is le dita. So we go from il dito to le dita.
So again, from masculine singular to feminine plural, but with the irregular a ending.
However, in Italian, we can also talk about I diti. What does this mean, Francesca? When do we use I diti?
I diti is used to indicate individual fingers. For example, we can talk about I diti indici.
Yeah, so the index fingers, I diti indici, talking about both of them.
Or I diti mignoli, una bella parola.
Yeah, I diti mignoli, they are your
pinkies,
I think. Yeah, your pinkies and so on. Or I diti pollici are your thumbs, both of them.
Molto bene.
Yep.
L'ultima parola è una parola interessante. So this is a word that very often our students, when they go to Italy and they go to some nice medieval towns in Italy, they always come back saying, why do Italians talk about mura instead of muri? So which word are we talking about?
We are talking about the word muro, which means wall, muro. But as Francesca was saying, in Italian we have muri, so the masculine plural version, or mura, the feminine plural version. Now, muri indicates the walls, the outside walls of a house.
Sì, or any building.
Or any building, in fact. And instead, le mura is something else. We talked about medieval cities. Why, Francesca?
Sì, we can have this alternative to muri, mura, intending the walls surrounding a city, the protective wall that in the past were built to protect a city. For example, if you go to Lucca, a lovely city in Tuscany, you can see some amazing mura surrounding the city. But also we can talk about le mura domestiche.
Oh, yeah. So in that case, we're talking about what kind of mura domestica? We're still talking about the house, but we're talking about...
more like the people who live inside the house, the feelings that are contained by those walls. I would say in a way similar to the difference between house and home in English. So if you talk about I muri della casa, it's the structure, the physical structure. But if you talk about le mura, and usually le mura domestiche, then it implies all the people living inside, the memories you have, and more like
a nostalgic, emotional side of the home, not the house.
In a way, yes.
Or mura, in terms of a town, are the defensive walls, the historical walls.
Esatto,
often.
sì.
All right.
Well?
So I think that we can try a little translation challenge if you're up for it.
Okay.
We have sentences to translate from English into Italian, and we'll give you 10 seconds to translate each sentence. Okay? So we'll start with the first one, with one of the last words we just mentioned. So let's see if you paid attention. We have, the walls of this house are very thick. Okay, so the walls of this house are very thick. Let's think about that, and I'll give you 10 seconds. Okay, Francesca, so we have, the walls of this house are very thick. What would you say?
I'm thinking that we are talking about walls, obviously, so we have two options, but it seems very technical to me here because we're talking about the thickness of the walls. So it seems like from an engineering point of view, kind of. So I don't think there is any feelings or family
I don't think so either.
involved. So I would say I muri, so the regular masculine plural form of this house, di questa casa, are very thick, sono molto spessi. So masculine plural ending for the adjective.
Remember, it's always super important to make sure that your adjectives agree with the nouns they describe. So muri, spessi. Okay,
I think we have time for one more example.
Okay.
And I want to take a word from the first section we discussed.
All right.
Sei pronto?
Prontissimo.
Okay. So the sentence is, I would like 2 fried eggs for breakfast.
Okay, so, I would like 2 fried eggs for breakfast.
Sì, so 10 secondi, 10 seconds, via!
Okay, allora, I would like 2 fried eggs for breakfast. Let's start with the verb. So I would like is vorrei.
Sì.
Vorrei. Now 2 fried eggs. So we'll start with 2 eggs. That's 2 uova.
Molto bene.
Right, so uovo, egg, goes to uova in the plural. So vorrei 2 uova fried. Okay, fried in Italian is fritto, but we need to make sure that it agrees in gender and number with uova, which is a feminine plural noun. So we're going to say 2 uova fritte. Okay, for breakfast is per colazione.
Sì, perfetto.
So, again, vorrei 2 uova fritte per colazione.
So it's okay to see uova together with fritte. You don't want to see the same ending because you need to recognize that uova is an irregular plural and that a is actually a feminine plural ending. In that case, agreeing with the fritte.
Perfect. So we've seen a lot of irregularities in this episode, and we hope that the way we categorize them and group them will help you remember them more easily. But as always, what should we do if we are uncertain, Francesca?
Il dizionario!
It's always important to check with the dictionary.
Va
Okay?
bene, direi che è tutto per questo episodio.
È tutto per oggi. We hope you enjoyed this lesson of the Coffee Break Italian show.
Sì, and these examples and more information will be written down in our blog post. So make sure you check the link in the description.
And if you'd like extra help with your Italian, remember that you can get regular free email lessons by signing up to our mailing list. So just visit coffeebreaklanguages.com/Italian.
So make sure you look out for the next mini lesson, which will arrive straight in your inbox.
And make sure you watch the next episode of the Coffee Break Italian show. Quindi a presto, alla prossima e come sempre,
happy coffee breaking!
Ciao!
Ciao!
You have been listening to a Coffee Break Languages production for the Radiolingua Network. Copyright 2024 Radiolingua Limited. Recording copyright 2024 Radiolingua Limited. All rights reserved.